Welcome to JRL Studio Creations. Today I'd like to show you how I made this really cool bag. It can fold up in many different ways and even lay flat. Also, it's waterproof. This is how it works. I'd like to show you how you can make one as well. Let's get started. The first thing is we want to start out with a welcome mat and then peel off all the fabric. Use some pieces of paper to tape together a template. I'm using some cardboard right here. To make your marks, start at the beginning of the ruler. Make a mark, then go all the way to 3. Then go 3/8 of an inch, make another mark, and continue to make marks at 3/8 of an inch to 7.5. I then used a thumbtack to be able to poke the areas that I had just marked. Then I used the thumbtack to also pivot it in the center of the 4 pieces of paper that were taped together. This one is 15 inches by 6 inches in the center, with 3/8 spacing in between. Also, we want to darken the edges of the paper. Now let's take a separate piece of paper and fold it into a triangle. This will be able to help us to make a perfect center line on the other piece of paper. We'll do this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. With the spots that we just barely marked to the center of our target, we'll want to draw lines. Now we're going to repeat this process. We're going to fold again the same paper that was a triangle and make a tie. From either side, we're going to mark it in the center. Now let's repeat this process one final time. This final fold might make it a little bit thick, so what I like to do is go on one side and then go on the other side and mark it, and then center the line in between the 2 marks. At this point, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces on each paper that was taped together. So altogether that would make 32 spaces. Now on our inner ring, we're going to darken a part of the line. This is 3 spaces, then we'll skip 1 space and go 3 more and darken it. Continue this process until you have equal spaces. On our second line up, we're going to mark 3 spaces as well, but we want it to be centered on the space before it. Then continue to mark 3, do a space, and mark 3 again all the way around the circle. On our third line, we're going to mark it just like we did on our first line. This will be our pattern as we work our way towards the edge. Feel free to pause this video and go back if you get confused. The spaces in between the lines we are marking should start to form an offset pattern. Continue marking until we have 3 outer rings. On one of these spaces, we are going to fill it in, and then on the exact opposite side, we will fill it in as well. I like to mark them. These will be our handles later. At the edge of these points, we're going to continue the pattern that was before it. We'll do that on one side, then the other, and we'll have 1 space in between these 2 of 3. We'll fill that in as well. At the exact opposite side of the handles, we'll want to place a button, so we'll keep that in mind. We'll also duplicate the pattern on the other side. Make sure there's a spacing of at least 2 lines till the outer edge. This is now going to be our template, which we'll transfer to the mat. If you have any excess paper, feel free to cut it off with a pair of scissors. We are going to glue this template onto our mat with some washable school glue. Also, make sure it's centered on the mat. I used a thumbtack, and I made sure that I made a mark with some tape of where to put it. Gently flatten out areas that may want to bubble up. When it's dry, put a piece of foam underneath the mat so that when we cut with the razor blade, it doesn't mark any table underneath. Wherever we have made darker lines, that's where we're going to cut through the mat with a razor blade. Make sure to use a new razor blade and cut it upright. Also be very careful as it can be very, very sharp. Make sure to fully cut through the mat. This is the area of the handles. On the opposite side, that's where we're going to leave a mark so that we can put on our buttons later. After double checking that we've cut all of our spaces, it's time to finally clean off the paper template from our mat. This is why the glue that we used needed to be washable. Depending on your material, you can wash it off or you can wipe it down with a washcloth. I washed mine in the sink. Okay guys, we're finally getting really close. Now here's where the buttons need to be placed. It's a little bit harder to see, but once it folds up, it'll be able to flip down flat. I'm using sew-on buttons. Sewing through a rubber mat is a lot harder than I expected. I had to use pliers to pull the needle through the mat. I also put some silver buttons on the handles. I was so happy when it snapped together perfectly. Also, I was really glad that I added some buttons for the handles. Although, I did realize this. If you decide to use a clip like this in place of the side buttons, you could be able to make a reversible bag. If you use one fabric on one side and a different fabric on the other, it can be able to change colors according to the way you clip it. Isn't that cool? But then you probably don't want the buttons on the handles. And that's how you make this really cool bag. Feel free to save this video so that you can go back to it at a later time. This bag also works great in leather. If you'd like to be notified when I post a video, please feel free to hit the bell icon. One of the things I really love about this bag is it expands or gets smaller according to whatever you put in it. Let me know how this tutorial turned out for you. Also, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Feel free to like this video, comment, and also subscribe for more great videos. I love that this bag is so lightweight and easy to clean. Also, it can be used as a placemat. Let me know if you think you can improve this pattern. Please share this with a friend. You're amazing. Have a great day. Bye!